Delta 7, Chapter 1, 15 April 1986, over the Atlantic Ocean, off the west coast of Spain. "We're not going to make it," U.S. Air Force Captain Roger Knife North said matter-of-factly over the jet's intercom to his pilot, Captain John Carter. North got his nickname shortly after joining the 494th Tactical Fighter Squadron at RAF Lakenheath in the southeast of the UK. It was a fitting moniker since the tall, muscular 32-year-old always carried at least 3 of them. North was the squadron's top weapons systems officer, or WISO, completely at home staring into the infrared and radar screens arrayed in front of him in the cockpit of their F-111 Aardvark, or VARC. Unlike most tandem-seat fighters, the F-111's pilot and WISO sit side by side, allowing each crew member to watch what the other was doing during flight. Although the WISO had his own control stick and throttles, he normally spent most of his time with his head in the feed bag, the hooded enclosure containing 2 screens presenting radar and infrared views of the surrounding terrain. Working with these systems while flying along in a maneuvering jet was very demanding. It was a challenge for the WISO to stay oriented and keep aiming at his target while the pilot yanked and banked the aircraft on its trajectory towards the target area. Many a WISO had lost his cookies during the often violent maneuvering during low-altitude flying. Captain John Carter was grateful that his WISO for that evening's mission seemed impervious to any of these problems. In fact, North was famous for chiding pilots into more aggressive maneuvering, and he was wont to say things like, "Come on, you weak dick, put some G's on this old son of a bitch. We're going to get our asses shot down if you don't stop pulling like a damn pussy." The F-111 was not a particularly sexy airplane, built for speed, not agility, but those who flew the VARC learned to love the smooth ride. She rode like a Cadillac with underinflated tires at 540 knots and only 200 feet above the ground. "What do you mean we're not going to make it? We've got plenty of gas. Or do you have to piss again?" replied Carter, glancing sideways at his WISO, a smile hidden behind his oxygen mask. "Not gas, asshole, time," replied North. "We're almost 3 minutes late right now, and by the time we get to X-ray, we'll be even later. The harm shooters will be finished before we even get there." Of the 100-plus aircraft participating in tonight's mission, codenamed El Dorado Canyon, Knife was referring to the Navy's F-18 and A-7 fighters. They would soon be launching off the catapults of the U.S. carriers America and Coral Sea, flying to targets in Benghazi and Tripoli on Libya's north coast. These initial attack aircraft would be carrying high-speed anti-radiation missiles, or HARMs. Their job was to knock out any Libyan radar facility that might track the attacking jets. "Damn, Knife! Why didn't you say something sooner?" asked Carter. "It's this friggin' calm silence crap. Everybody knows we're late, but nobody wants to say anything. What's the point of maintaining calm friggin' silence if the Libyans are going to know we're coming before we get there?" Knife wasn't particularly articulate, but his point was valid. If they didn't alter course or speed up, the attacking F-111s would arrive several minutes after the HARM missiles had been launched, denying them the crucial element of surprise. "Puffy lead 3, Carter transmitted to his flight lead, breaking radio silence and making the first radio transmission for the night. "Yeah, I know," answered Zach, his flight lead. "Break to ball 4-5, Puffy lead. I show us 3 late. We need to speed up and cut some corners," he instructed the lead KC-135 tanker tersely. Phil Zach Kazakman was the only combat veteran in the formation. During the Vietnam War, Zach had flown the F-111 during nighttime attacks on Hanoi. He was a fighter pilot's fighter pilot, and he flew the pants off the airplane, winning nearly all the squadron's Top Gun competitions despite being 20 years older than the youngest lieutenants in the squadron. Tonight, as in Vietnam, he would be on time and on target. In the cockpit of the lead KC-135, the subjects of timing, boom airspeed limitations, and upper atmosphere winds had been the main topic of conversation for the last hour. The weather guessers had gotten it all wrong. Not only were the winds significantly stronger than predicted, they were in the opposite direction, giving the attacking formation a 75-knot headwind instead of a light tailwind. The lead tanker navigator had immediately noticed the difference in wind and had recommended a faster speed. They were leading the entire formation of KC-10s, KC-135s, F-111Fs, and EF-111s. The tanker's aircraft commander, however, had initially resisted flying faster than the limiting speed of the tanker's air refueling boom. The unpredicted winds were causing additional problems for the F-111s. Half of them had a weapons load of 4 2,000-pound laser-guided bombs, while the others carried 12 500-pound Mark 82 airs each. All these weapons hanging on the wings of the fighters were causing a lot of air resistance or drag. That drag, combined with the increased airspeed to compensate for the winds, was causing the thirsty fighters to burn fuel at a much higher rate than they had planned. "Booms, pilot," said Major Tommy Wilson over the tanker's intercom, calling the plane's boom operator in the tail of the lead KC-135. "I'm going to push this sucker up as fast as she'll go. Let me know if you're having trouble controlling the boom. For now, screw the boom limit. This is combat." Everyone on board the aircraft smiled at hearing those words. It was nice to be able to escape the rules of Mother SAC, the storied Strategic Air Command. They were determined to get their chicks to their targets on time, even if they had to break a few of Mother's rules in the process. In Carter's F-111, the effect was immediate. The tanker, from which they were still receiving fuel, began to pull ahead of them and slowly banked to the left. Carter added power and matched the tanker's turn to stay in position. While Carter concentrated on staying in the refueling formation with the tanker, Knife made some quick calculations. "Shit hot," exclaimed Knife over the VARC's intercom. "They're cutting the corner on Spanish airspace, too. I now show us 20 seconds late at X-ray." The governments of Spain and France had not allowed the Americans to overfly their countries to reach Libya that night. That had added a whole level of complication to the mission and had almost doubled their flight time. Of all the attacking F-111s, Carter's squadron had to fly the farthest to reach their target, the military airfield on the east side of Tripoli's international airport. After completing the final pre-attack air refueling off the north coast of Libya, they would continue east, past the city and outside of radar coverage. From that point, they would begin their descent to treetop level and head back through the desert toward Tripoli. This is the end of Delta 7, Chapter 1, Part 1. To continue viewing the remainder of the first chapter, please click on the link for Chapter 1, Part 2. If you'd like more information about Delta 7, please visit our website at www.delta7book.com.